Hey again. After I took a more look at the Blackhawks and Panthers game, I feel like there might be more symbolism with the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And what I mean by that is if you, going back to on Sunday, the same day that the Chiefs played, with the stats and stuff that the Blackhawks did. Oh, screen's going crazy. So, yeah, it was their 50th game, just like Chiefs equals 50, and it's been 50 years since the Chiefs made it to the Super Bowl. But when you actually go to the Pro Hockey Reference, another thing I noticed was the amount of, goals for, and I don't know when they start counting this, but it just stands out to me, the 152. Maybe I'm reading it wrong or something, but I'm pretty sure that's goals by the Blackhawks. And whenever you type out, KC Chiefs, that also equals 152. And Patrick Mahomes, 152. And another quick thing, I know I keep mentioning Bart Starr, but I feel like it has a lot of symbolism with him still too. Because one thing I don't know if people are aware, his overall career touchdowns, he also had 152, which I just find funny. That's just showing how close he is with the Kansas City Chiefs or something. But another thing I just noticed that maybe 5 minutes ago is the guy Patrick Kane. So the Blackhawks also have a guy named Patrick. So, that name is just overwhelming this year. Everyone seems like has a Patrick or something. But if you look on Sunday, it says he got his 1,000th point. And whenever his birthday is listed down here on November 19th, and I just ran the date from his birthday, or from that game. Let's see. So from January 19th to his upcoming birthday is what I want to point out. It's insane because it's the number I was just talking about this morning. It's 305 days. And again, when you type out Indigenous Peoples Day, you get 305, just like how Miami's area code is 305. But that's not really all I found. Keep in mind, Indigenous Peoples Day equals 100, just like the 100th NFL season. But another thing I just realized, because I was talking about how the Blackhawks played on Indigenous Day this year, and when you take today, the 21st, and go back to the Indigenous Day on October 14th, when you run the full span of that, today is actually 100 days from Indigenous Day. Isn't that not wild how we were just talking about that? But so just looking at it, and today being the date, you can write 1/21, and how on Indigenous Day this past October, the Blackhawks became 1-2-1. And another thing that stands out, which I mentioned with the 51, the Oilers became 5-1. The Arrowhead equals 51. All these things equal 51. Even with the Chicago Blackhawks, which I know I have it open, I just wanted to point out that they were actually established on May 1st for another 51. So just a lot of things are lining up today, I guess, with the Chicago Blackhawks and Indigenous Day. And one thing I noticed too with even though that I guess I can close that one, but even though that the Blackhawks are the favorite today in this game, I just wanted to show that, I don't know what's going on there. That against the Panthers, even if they do beat the Panthers, I don't know if I think there's a good chance that it could be an overtime loss. Because if you look at their record, and I haven't looked at their overall head-to-head stats or their away or home records. It's just looking at it. So Florida, we know, is the 27th state, so maybe they can stay on that 27. But whenever you write out, so I'm talking about the 16-5. So if you want to guess if they're going to go maybe 17-5 on their losses. But I actually wonder about an overtime loss, because when you write out Florida Panthers, they equal 166. So who knows, that could be a possibility, because even with the Blackhawks, they could pick up their 25th win today. And another thing I noticed, when you write out 25, it equals 121, just like how today is January 21st, and it's kind of a reflection of their record from Indigenous Day. And then there's that 50 again, which today's their 51st game for the Blackhawks. But then again, today I think would be the Panthers' 50th game, because they're on 49 right now. Just like how who was it that the Blackhawks just beat the Jets on Sunday, or that was their 49th game. And we know that Super Bowl equals 49 as well. And I don't know, just a few things I just wanted to point out there. And when you do go back to this game, I don't know if it's in the box score or I had it somewhere else. Oh, right here. It tells you how many shots that were taken, and this is the day on Indigenous Day. And I find it funny because the Oilers had 28 shots and then 35 for the Blackhawks, totaling 63 again. I mean, that number is everywhere. But I do know that on Indigenous Day, there was a 63 date numerology that day as well. And probably one of the last things I had was how I had mentioned Blackhawk, the reason for why Chicago Blackhawks are called Blackhawk, and how he died on October 3rd. Since today is their 51st game, and knowing that they were established on 5-1, I just figured maybe he's tying in somewhere. So, I did find a little bit with that. So if you take this past October 3rd and run it to today, I believe with the span, it's 111 days. Kind of like reflecting again from how it's 111 days from Indigenous Day to the Super Bowl. Or you can say it was a span of 112 days, and again, Super Bowl equals 112. But I'm kind of leaning that it's just representing more of the Indian 111, because an Indian has that 5-1 as well. So who knows if it does go in overtime or what happens, but I'm just saying it looks like there's good odds for the Blackhawks to win in overtime, and I wouldn't be surprised if it were like 3-3 overtime and then final score like 4-3 maybe, because Florida equals 43, so possible, but I wouldn't trust myself on anything I say, because I'm not as experienced at calling games, but it's just something I see off the bat. But then, and one more